Welcome, my lovely Cancers. This is your card in tarot. It is the Chariot card. It is unstoppable forward movement. This is your general intuitive energy and card reading for the week of September 2nd through September 8th, 2019. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and House positions, but it still will not apply to all. Me being the Queen of Clovers, my readings tend to focus on life, craft, action, nurturing ourselves and others, and using our will for the highest good and calling. All right, I'm going to pull cards, past, present, future cards, and then just clarify them immensely. Because right now the energy is earthen and hefty. If you watched at least the energetic introduction to my Virgo seasonal cross reading, that link is below. Those are going to be, in effect, my September 2019 monthly readings for my channel. It'll be new moon to new moon. But we had Virgo Sun, Virgo Venus, and Virgo new moon. All kinds of Virgo energy. Earthen energy. Work in progress, problem solving, correcting, perfecting routines. It's still a kick in the butt, even though we have all this energy collecting above us. It's still a kick in the butt leaving summer season, especially for an Aries like me. Cancer might be more amenable to it, but come on. You kick off the summer in June. We know you love it. All right, so very few, not always, do we have this season Sun, season Moon, and season Venus opportunity. It happened in Leo, it happened in Virgo, it's going to happen in Libra and Scorpio, but then the energies are going to become muddled, and it won't be as perfectly full seasoned. So this is very defining, heavy autumnal energies, but don't panic too much. These are definitely Virgo scheduled and planned energies. All right, so let's see. Past card there popping out, present card popping out, and future card. There we go. For the past position, I have the Ace of Cups in reverse. This is a no-love situation. This is a desire to, this is a love that was not a good option. A very, very poor option. It was a poor connection, is what Spirit is saying. In the present position, I have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. This is just life happening, the natural order of life. Things happen. It's my flat tire card kind of thing. But in reverse, it tells me it's going to look way uglier before you get this spinning in your favor again. But it will be spinning in your favor anytime it enters your life. You have to use your will to turn it back to spin in your favor. And it's something that you can't ignore, like a flat tire. All right. Cancer, in your future position, I have Death in reverse. This is coming out of the dark, coming out of the darkness. You can barely see the card. I do have it a little dark in here because it is hot as beans here in Southern California and Orange County. As hot as it gets, probably. But this is actually you just coming out of... It's just you walking away from death, just walking away. Because you can. That's really all it takes. You walk with death momentarily because we are always walking with life and we are always walking with death. It is the natural course of events. All you have to do is be born and die. Of course, they say all you have to do is death and taxes, but this is not that. This is definitely just life happening. There was a natural end. Perhaps somebody left you to move on in the spirit world, but usually death is just moving on. It could be moving to a whole new city or changing a whole new job. It is just an ending of some kind. Being major arcana is a major ending, though. All right, Ace of Cups. What is this Ace of Cups in my past position for my Cancers? Yeah, this is you working alone. I have the Queen of Pence in reverse, and I have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. This is the Lonely Woman card, the Running Her Own Kingdom card. It's just being alone. It's just doing it alone. These cards aren't so much, I don't really feel you were in financial ruin or you were being selfish. No, it just tells me that you were alone and you weren't very happy about it. It's just something you had to do. You were taking care of something where love could not happen. And you kind of put the pause button on love. Either that or you were just doing everything. And eventually, I hope if that was the case, okay. All right. You just came into so much imbalance. You were just working so hard for yourself that you were just working hard for yourself, but you were actually working for a team. This should have been love, but it was the Ten of Swords. And it's because you were doing all the work alone. And the only reason you found the Ten of Swords in reverse here is because you found help. you found some kind of help, a connection. This doesn't feel like love. It feels like a connection, like a good friend, like somebody came to, like a sister or brother came to save the day for you. They were just like, dude, this is like the honesty of you're being betrayed and you're suffering, and somebody came and offered you some unconditional love. But in offering that unconditional love, they were basically saying, things be shitty. Things be shitty, you need to go. Alright, the Tower position. Yeah, this Wheel of Fortune is going to be tough. Spirit tried to ease you into it, but you're going to have to, it's the Tower and the Knight of Pentacles. Once this Tower falls, you are going to ride out. It feels like you're going to ride out for a new land, a new opportunity. This just feels like you need to get out. You need to ground and you need to get out. Knight of Pentacles. You need to go somewhere else for your fortune. You can't even, one of the lessons I've learned about the Tower lately is that when the Tower collapses and is dramatic and everything, you can still use the materials to rebuild a new tower, a new foundation. This is telling me that you need to get out of Dodge. When the Tower falls, don't hang around, don't rebuild it. It's fallen for a reason, and you know it. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and then the Tower, and then, yeah, there's no reason to stay in this. And, you have the information. In the past, you received the information that, yes, this is not the right place for you to be. You may have just absorbed that information, not taken any action on it, my lovely Cancer, because guess what? That's why the Tower came in. And then also the Magician. Yeah, you're going to start manifesting something new. It is completely away. There's some form of awayness in this. This is some kind of opportunity that you're looking at that you want to manifest that's either out of town or a completely new environment. You know, like if you're a new teacher, you're going to be teaching at a new school, not a new grade, a whole new school, in a whole new state even possibly. So it's that energy of just completely manifesting the new, because there is a need to move on. There is a need to leave the debris behind that is left. This is something you don't clean up. This is like a nuclear holocaust kind of feeling because of the energies of I've got to leave. I've got to get out. This is the Tower. This is you riding past the Tower to something else. Something you need to manifest, something new. Alright, yep. Let's see here. Ace of Pentacles. And the Chariot, this is your energy. This new that you're riding into is not very well supported. You weren't left with a lot to work with. That is something else that not using the Tower materials that have fallen is telling me, is that it doesn't matter. When you left, whatever you left, when you escaped, it's borderline slavery, your past. I'm not even kidding. It feels like borderline slavery. But when you left that, you were left with so little. It's like you left with your shirt on, and that's it. You are going to come back into your energy, but it's going to go fast. This is you coming into your energy. Once you do that, it's going to go fast. Once you understand what's going on and that this terrible, terribleness, you don't have to go back to it. It's almost like the universe is begging you to please create something new. Just please go somewhere else, because even though you don't have anything, it's the best thing for you. You need to move on. This is definitely move on energy. It is Spirit begging you. I'm sorry I couldn't give you more. That's from Spirit. I couldn't give you more to leave. It took a lot of energy to just extricate you from this, my lovely Cancer. Okay, let's see the Death card, because this is going to be the ending, and this is going to be the ending that you've been waiting for, because there seems to be a lot of energy still trying to pull you back, but you still need to leave, almost like leave the country kind of energy to get away. To clarify the Death card, I have the Six of Pentacles in reverse and the Three of Swords in reverse. Yes, it ended, of course. Your heartbreak is going to end, but so is a bit of your financial security. It is so worth it to walk away from heartbreak and walk away from difficulty, walk away from cruel words and people who are unkind to you. It's a tough ending. It's not something you want to do. You are tempted to return. That's what this is telling me, why these cards are in reverse. is that you're tempted to return because it's not pretty out there on your own, especially for women. When you leave like a 20-year marriage, there is a gap in alimony, if received. There is a gap in assistance, and I think you're going to feel that gap. And during that gap, I can only imagine how many women go back, especially when their marriage wasn't actually physically violent, but this was like borderline slavery. The amount of work you put into this life is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. On your own, when you start like managing just your laundry and your bills and stuff, it isn't as much. So that's something Spirit really wants me to tell you, is that you were working your ass off here for like a lot. But now when you extricate yourself from a bad position, it could just be a very underpaid job. Borderline slavery, definitely. But when you extricate yourself from this and move on to something entirely new, the expenses, the difficulties will be so much less. You're afraid because this is the temptation to return is there because you're remembering the work it took just to get by before. That is a past thing. Spirit wants to say, when you come into this finality, when you come into this change, your responsibilities, your needs, and what have you are going to be so minimal. It's going to be easy for you to reset up. You are starting from scratch, but it's going to happen. The Hermit card in reverse, you got to get out there because you've got shit to do. This feels like somebody who's got to support themselves for the first time, even like running away from home. I do not advocate teens running away from home, absolutely. But sometimes you got to go. You got to run away sometimes. And it's not pleasant. It's very, very impoverishing. It is, you are running to homelessness. It's a guarantee sometimes. But it is not going to be that difficult. You're looking at it in such a reverse, turned around way. It took me a while to explain, but you don't have heartbreak, but you don't have money, is what this is like. You came to the end of it. Maybe I don't want to end it. You really need to think about it. You're resisting thinking about it because you want to get all your ducks in a row. You want to get the money in a row. You want to make sure that everything is lined up, that the rent is paid. You may have children involved. I don't really feel children involved. 7 of Cups in reverse. Yeah, you definitely feel your options are limited, but there's still options. Always keep that in mind. That's the difference between looking at the positive and negative. You do have limited options. Yeah, I do have limited options. But if there's 3 options, there's 3 options. And one of them is not to return. That is one of the major options. One of them is to move forward. So just move forward. So this is just so encouraging you to just keep going, honeys. This is somebody who broke away from something very difficult. And it seems very dramatic. And I'm talking about slavery and uncoerced words and just heartbreak. But it could be as basic as finally leaving a job where they're not paying you much. They don't even treat you very well. And maybe you left before you had a chance to get a new one. Because so whoever came and gave you this unconditional love and really pointed out the misery you in, because I don't think you knew, I think you're doing what you want to do somewhat here. If it's a family situation, you want a family. You want that kid. You want that husband. If it's a work situation, it was like your dream job. It was like artwork or some kind. But you were so undervalued, so underpaid, and so overworked that it just had to end. You can go back into something. You just have to do something else. It can be the same kind of work. It can be the same dream. But it's just because it is your dream doesn't mean the circumstances are qualifying for your happiness. Yeah, 6 of Swords. This is kind of a critical card because this means that you will get help to leave. You cannot extricate yourself alone as easily as you'd like. Don't be afraid to say, I'm scared, I need to go back to one person. Anybody. It can be the lady at the fucking bus stop. I think I told a lady at the movie theaters when I was going through my divorce, and I just didn't want to tell anybody. And she just talked to me, and she was talking about her kids, and I just said, I'm going through a divorce. I'm very worried about my kids, but I just don't want to go back, and I'm scared I'm going to have to go back. And she said, just remember what it was like when you were there. Put that behind you. And start thinking about the life you need to build. You have to build it. Otherwise, you have to go back. So you have to build another life. But you will. This is that get the help from your friends card to extricate yourself from this. Just do it. This is Spirit saying you've actually done some work to remove yourself. But this is like an opportunity to return to the travesty that was your life. Don't do it. It was not a good thing. All right, let's pick some clarifiers since we're already at 15 minutes. These are like really good messages for you, my lovely Cancers. I feel like your energy of like, it's a back and forth energy. It's like, I want to go back, I don't want to go back. I want to go back, I don't want to go back. Two of Hearts. Somebody is going to give you unconditional love. But this is a fear of love too. This is a fear of love. It's a fear of connection. It is the major connection card, but twos are fear cards. And so if you do the numerology, which I do read Cartomancy for mostly from numerology, is the it's a fear of love. It's a fear of connection. It's probably because it's not a good one. You're gonna get a message. Start napping, my loves, because your answer is coming to you. This Ace of Swords is an inspiration. It is a message. It is a spiritual message, and it is going to give you an idea of your options. Options are very critical to you right now because they appear twice in this reading from two separate decks. You have limited options. I hear it over and over. I just don't have that many options, but you have options. So definitely consider those. It's probably the area that Spirit wants you to look the most. Before you even look at the kids or the mortgage or where you're going to live next, you need to just make a list of your options, your choices, and make sure you're picking from an appropriate list. This is the marriage card. This is the celebration card. This is the ideal connection card as well. And it is you moving towards, let's get some clarity. Ooh, that's too much clarity, but I did have the Nine of Swords trying to pop up as in cut it out. See, that's where this reading is going, but I cannot. Okay, Five of Hearts. All right, you're in an unhappy marriage, an unhappy union, unhappy work. This is definitely an unhappy work situation because you're being overworked. Even if you're at home as a homemaker or this is work as in where your office, there's something about this place that is working you to the bone. You're not happy. This is disappointment. Your marriage is disappointing. That union, that connection is disappointing work. It really is disappointing work. That's the message right there. Very crystal clear, my Cancers. All right, Cancers, that's a tough one. But there's so much. Just look at your options. Spirit is very serious about that. Look at all your options. There's something that you need to pinpoint that's going to change your whole energy. And then you're going to know, once you meditate and you use your intuition, all the options that are useless are going to fall away but one. And you are going to feel that intuitive mind taking force and driving you towards that healthier option. All right. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, Cancer. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, tip or donate if the Spirit moves you. Of course, book a personal reading. Tons of information in the box below, including the link to my September 2019 Virgo seasonal cross readings, which are free. And definitely here on YouTube. And definitely have a very lovely, lovely week, my Cancer. Hang in there, loves.